Hi, Sheila here. Today I thought I would point you in the direction of two resources that are linked from the library homepage. One, the digital collection, and the other will be the architectural survey. So I will turn the screen so that you can see the homepage with me. And we will be looking on the left-hand side menu under Research, and we will go to Research at Connecticut, which takes us to the Connecticut State Library page. So this should look familiar to many of you. At this point, we have the three columns. We're going down towards the bottom on the right-hand side into the Connecticut Digital Collection. So this is a great place for history buffs because the collections are historical. The newspapers of Connecticut will take us back historically into the 1800s. And the nice thing about the resource is you can look at the pages, see how they were laid out, but underneath each page is a transcription, so it's typed out so that you will be able to read what's on the page. Sometimes the snapshots are just difficult to actually read the content. Treasures of Connecticut Library, again, if you search in there for something, let's say on the Civil War, you'll find letters and diaries and photographs, so that's really kind of cool if you're history buff. The digital collection here, and so you can see how they're broken out, diaries and journals and topics. Sometimes I looked for a little bit into the Veterans Commemorative Booklet, and each time you would open one of these, the Merritt Parkway, kind of the big part of Connecticut, it will tell you what the collection is about. And you can always search from the search bar up on top if you are looking for something in particular, rather than just looking around as I was today. September 11th, yeah. Seems like that was longer ago than it was. So coming back out of here, I usually just go out by using the back button. You'll find some nice oral histories. So in here and also in here, I did pause for a while at some oral histories given by immigrants. Kind of a nice thing to listen to if you don't feel like reading. Felt like I was listening to a little podcast. I actually came upon one that was in Italian. So it might be a nice place to explore kind of a different way of getting a history orally from somebody. So that was kind of cool. In here at one point I was just searching for theaters. You'll always see what the collection is searching. Sometimes it just takes its time to get going. So I didn't limit it for the type of theater, and you'll see it pulled up a bunch of things on ballet. And you'll find playbills and photographs. And again, sometimes you just want to kind of explore, and sometimes you really want to put in a more targeted search. But the main thing about this whole collection is that it is historical, and it does include a variety of presentations, oral and visual, written. So good place to spend a little time if you really appreciate just looking back over the history of our state. I'm going to leave this page completely and go back to the library homepage. And at the top bar, where you'd find the catalog and events, I'm going to open the help and scroll just a bit, really not even halfway, I think, to the architectural surveys. Take a moment for it to open, and I did put in Litchfield. You can see it held my search from earlier. Certainly you might want to search a different town. but for demonstration purposes, I just went into the Litchfield, Bantam, and Milton. It had 215 properties. It was done in 1987. So not every property clearly is going to be in here, but I wanted you to see what it looks like. Kind of looks like the book, and these little teardrops at the bottom, they look like places on a map. They will take you in the book as if it was a map to every place that the word Litchfield is, because that was my search term. So if I put in here Reeves, as in tapping Reeves, then we would just get the one teardrop that takes us to a page about the law school. So in terms of navigating, you have forward and back buttons here, so you can just really look through the book if you wanted. Again, this is where we searched. I would suggest the zoom button so that you could see more easily what's here, and I'm just not going to do it for the example because it makes it a little difficult for me to navigate and get back. You can also make it full screen when you're at home. I also put in, well, what you really need to do is white woods with the quotation marks so that when it searches, you get both words together. So this will give you some information about the house that is at White Memorial. And again, these teardrops will take you any place in the book where that search term is mentioned. That's the way this works. This takes you back and forth on the page, through the pages. And I'll make it a little bit bigger. And then you have this bar here that moves you between the pages. So anything that you need to do to make it readable for yourself. Again, there's the zoom. You can do it full page. So that's what it looks like once you're in here. You can also change the layout and get one page at a time if you feel like that's easier to read. And of course, you might want to search places other than Litchfield. So that's how it's broken down. Just turn your back. So 2 more places that you can spend some time looking around, especially, as I said, if you're a history buff. The digital collection just has a great variety of things for you to search. And the architectural survey is also a hard copy, which we're not having access to today because it's in the library, but something that you can look at home. So I hope that that's helpful. If you have questions, you can always contact the library and ask something specific about the collections, if that's something you need. And as always, I hope that you and your families are staying safe and well.